All right, so I never show you how to do roofing, but today I will. First of all, you can see we did some siding and whatever up here. All right, so roofing is interesting if you like really boring things. So what happens is, this is 3-tab composition roofing, okay? And they call it 3-tab because it has 3 tabs. So let's get a piece of these shingles, and as you can tell, 1 tab, 2 tabs, 3 tabs, okay? So what happens is, that's a bad example. There's a tar strip that goes right across here. You put a nail above this line, a nail above that line, and 1 on each corner, right? In the tar strip. Okay, so when you're having a repair roof, which we do, because this is, you can see how it's rotted down. It's not good, and this is all not great. All right, we're gonna fix that. Okay, so what we gotta do is take the shingles off. Now it's easier if we start at the top, but what you wanna do is get under here and get this tar strip loose, right? And a Super Wonder Bar does a really good job of that. Because otherwise you just tear stuff up, you're gonna end up having to tear up everything. So we wanna make sure that the nail out here is gone. And now it is. And then this nail. That gets that shingle off. We're going to keep doing that until we get everything exposed, and then we'll patch it. And I'll show you how that works too. But basically, you want to get your bar up underneath here and get your shingles loose. Get your nails after that. Okay? Roofing is all about layers. So there's a couple things you don't want to do. You don't want to have, let me just show you. If these were new shingles, right? You don't want to have one right on top of the other, because your seam, water will get right down in here and get to the next one and get down in your roof. You don't want that. So these are staggered over, right? They're actually staggered the other way, but they're staggered over like this. And so that way, if water gets between here, it doesn't matter. And then another one covers this up. And so water is never going to get down to where your roof is, where your house is. So that's the concept of roofing, is it's all just layers. Now, I realize that not everybody in the world can go to my church, and I feel sorry for you. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what we talked about this week, because I think it's so very important. Lots of us are going through trials at any given point, and I know a lot of people are going through some pretty bad trials. You know, stuff that's just heartbreaking. You want to cry for them. But he brought up our pastor Gary, who's amazing. Brought up a very important point. He said that this guy just got back from space, right? And when he got off the spaceship, after being up there for, I don't know, almost a year, he was strong, his muscles worked, and he was good. But a couple years before, they had sent somebody up to space, and they came back, and their muscles were atrophied, and they were just a mess. They could hardly walk, they could hardly move, they were sick. They had to keep them in quarantine. And the reason why the second one did so much better is because they made a suit that had resistance in it. So all the time, roofing has hook blades supported. So every time he moved, there was these rubber band resistors everywhere in every joint. And so as he would move, even though there's no resistance up in space, it would make him resist. And so he was basically working out all the time and preparing for life back on Earth with gravity. And when he got back down, he was all good. And so all that resistance, that stuff that seemed like it was bad, was actually a really good thing for him. It was keeping him strong, so he didn't just basically die. Also, I heard about, it's not from church, but I heard about, they got these biodomes, right, where they make this big dome, and they have a bunch of plant life in there or whatever. And so they had that, so the thing's covered up, and these trees were growing in there, no wind at all. And because there's no wind, then it doesn't have to resist anything, right? So it doesn't have to like fight and make its roots strong. And so what would happen is these big tall trees, perfect environment, would just fall over because they're not strong enough to hold their own weight up. And so a lot of times we feel like, I wish my life wasn't so hard. And you're like, that hardness might be the very thing keeping you alive and keeping you strong. Anyway, I hope that encourages you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm about to tell you the rest of this roofing, but I think that gives you an idea on how to kind of get it off and out of the way if you've been paying attention at all, which maybe you haven't. I don't know. All right, see you soon. So we repaired the bad decking in here, and we put in new, and we got back to studs, and we nailed in there, and now it's solid, right? So now, before it was not great, but now it's all solid, so that's good. Then we put felt. This is synthetic felt. It's tar paper was the old stuff. You can tell there's still some over here, but this is felt, and we want to come underneath the last shingle, and then overlap, and then be over this shingle here, okay? If we didn't have shingles there, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but we want to overlap layers, because if anything does get underneath there, then we want it to roll down and not penetrate through. So now comes the hard part. It's not really that hard. We got to switch back over to hook blade because that's part of life. And hook blades cut the shingles, and straight blades cut the foam. So sorry I didn't have any show prep there. Nevertheless, so then we got our shingles, and like I was trying to show you earlier, these have 3 tabs, and so they're called 3 tabs. Okay, so we want to get on this shingle right here, and you can see it just lines up just like that. You see where the tar line is? It's a lot more prevalent on the new shingles, obviously, right? So that tar line then is going to stick to the next layer, right? Once we get this up on there, then that tar line, once this gets hot, then this tar will stick to this shingle and that shingle won't blow up. So that's important. So the other day, this kid was talking to me, and he says, "Can you put my shoes on for me?" And I'm like, "I don't think they're gonna fit me, kid. Like, you're pretty small." He didn't think it was funny. But I looked at him, I was like, "Hey, your shoes are on the wrong feet." And he looks at me real serious for a minute. He looks at his feet, looks back at me. He's like, "They're the only feet I have." I'm like, "You win this round, kid. You win this round." All right, so you see what we're doing here. Is trying to get all this stuff repaired. So it's going to be easy until we get to the end, and then we're going to have to tuck it up in there with the bar again. But that's how roofing works. It's not really that hard, except for it's hard on your body, and of course you might fall and die, but don't think about that. You know, think about happy thoughts. Because if you skydive without a parachute, you can fly for the rest of your life. A lot of people don't talk about that. Christine, you got anything on your heart? Anything you want to talk about? She says, "No, John, don't talk about me." And her last name is something else besides her real last name. I don't know what it is right now. It's Jackson. That's what it is. She's nodding. Yeah, she's Jackson. So these are in coil nails, right? Which means you put a coil on there and then load it, and you shoot again. And that, my friends, is how shingling works. And I hope that you never have to do this, because it's probably some of the hardest work out there besides concrete. So, anyway, I'll show you a wrap up at the end. Have a wonderful day, or else. So, I apologize, I just went too fast. I've been doing this for a long time. So, as you can tell, that's where the patch is. It looks amazing. And once water goes on it, it'll just shed right off. And you'll be like, "I don't feel any water in my house." You're welcome. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about what? We want to talk about the fact that we, as a people, and especially as Christians, don't have a knowledge problem. Okay, we don't. It's not that we don't know better. Some people don't know better, but most people do. We have an obedience problem. We hear the truth, and we're like, "Nope, I don't want to do that. I want to do what I want to do." That's a problem. Here's the other problem we got. We want to blame everybody else for our problems. Nobody wants to take accountability and be like, "I did a bad thing and I need to make it right." This started, let me try to think the exact date that it started. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, and then God comes to them and goes, "What did you do?" And Eve's like, "The serpent made me do it." And Adam's like, "Eve made me do it." And they immediately start blaming somebody else besides himself, all right? We still do that today. People are like, "I messed up. I don't want to confess I messed up, so I want to blame somebody else, and I don't want to be obedient. I just want to keep doing what I want to do, and I want to avoid my problem and like bury it down." So when my son was little, I'm sorry, Ben, I'm gonna have to call you out on this because it's a funny story. When my son was little, he got to the age where he could take his diapers off, but he still wasn't potty trained, and he didn't want to sit and poop. And I don't blame him. I don't want to sit and poop, right? I mean, do you? She says, "Yes." That's so weird. Oh no, it's a no. It's a no. I'm sorry. And so he would like sneak behind the chair because he's like, "Something doesn't feel right. I need to get this out." He would take his diaper off, but we're not paying attention because, you know, we're doing anything but thinking about pooping behind the chair. But then he realized, this is gross. this is bad, and I'm a like 1-year-old or whatever, but I know this is bad. So then he'd be like, I need to hide this. So he would rub it into the carpet, and then he was like trying to hide it by rubbing it in the carpet. It never worked. It made it way worse. It always does. It makes it way worse if you try to cover it up. Just go, hey, Dad, you see that? I made a mistake. And I'll be like this. Okay, we'll deal with it, but it's better than rubbing in the carpet. Anyway, I think that it's very important that we admit when we're wrong and that we make it right. And that's the big part of an apology that nobody gets. They're like, I said I'm sorry. And you're like, but your behavior didn't change. You didn't do anything different. That's not a good apology. That's a lame apology. That's, you know, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. Ugh. 0 stars, would not recommend.
Good morning. You've probably been like, what in the world is John up to? I've been so lonely. I need his inspiration. Well, here I am. We've been doing piddly things, mostly illegal things we can't really talk about. We were smuggling stuff from Colombia. It was coffee. Anyway, so today we're gonna magically, as if by Photoshop, change the color of this place from yellow to gray with white trim. The truth is that it's been very windy, ridiculously windy. And if you spray paint in the wind, then it just all goes on everything else except for where it needs to be, and it's very costly, and then I end up looking like I've got a shadow paint on me. It's not pleasant. So I can't wait for the traffic lights to get involved in this whole going green thing, because it seems like everywhere I go, it's red traffic lights. I don't like that. I want green traffic lights. So Biden, get to work on that. Oh, you guys are still here watching me. Okay, so as you can clearly tell, we have painted gray 2 coats. And it is beautiful, but it's not all the way beautiful yet. Why is that? Because we still got to do trim paint. And that will really make it pop. That's something that interior decorators would say. And when I was younger, and my daughter was much younger, like, you know, little, then I was using my non-heterosexual voice. And my daughter laughs and she goes, Daddy, you sound like one of those fashion designers. And I was like, you're not wrong. All right, so spraying paint is so much faster than brushing by hand, obviously. So we're going to spray all the white, and then we're going to come back and hand paint all the white around the windows and around the doors and trim, and it will be absolutely amazing. Here's my question to you on this Saturday. Why in the world are you being so stingy with the gospel? And I'm talking to Christians. Why are you being stingy as if some people don't deserve it? As if like, you know what, I don't know if I want to share with that person because maybe they don't deserve the gospel. None of us do. Be nice. Look at that person and be like, ooh, I'm scared of them. And share the gospel anyway, because it's good news. And you might be surprised. They might be just the person that needs to hear it. So I hope that you're having a wonderful Saturday. Hope you're going to a bunch of parties this weekend. Good parties, not bad parties. You know, where you drink water and stuff and laugh with people and encourage them. So love you, bye. Oh, hey. So if you're anything like me, your 5 favorite words are, you're on speakerphone. 5, whatever. Because look, you don't want to put me on speakerphone. I'm gonna say something inappropriate. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. So today we sprayed 2 coats of gray. It's beautiful. We sprayed all the white that we could spray. Also beautiful. We still have to hand paint around all the windows and trim and things like that. And it is gonna make everything pop. I learned that from an interior designer because she knows things and I don't know things. I'm very dull. I'm like a very blunt instrument, like a very just a dull, inexpensive tool, like maybe a sledgehammer that's kind of broken. That's kind of me. All right, so earlier today, I did fall off of a 22-foot ladder. Thank God I was on the bottom rung when I did, or else it would have been tragic. Also, I got stung by a wasp. I don't know if you can tell right here. Ooh, it was horrible. And then my helper was all like, hey, there's a bunch of wasps up there near you, and I'm afraid 20 feet down here, can you kill them? And I was like, yeah, I'll send them to little wasp heaven. And she told me, and I don't know if I agree with her, that wasps don't go to heaven because they look like demons. And they probably are from hell because the devil himself couldn't be here. Therefore, he brought wasps to come and visit us in his stead. Okay? Now, this might go for other creatures too. I don't know, probably mosquitoes. I think most people could agree that mosquitoes are probably from hell and going back to hell at the end of it all. Wasps, probably like rattlesnakes. There's a laundry list of creatures that you're like, I don't think they'll ever be in heaven. But I don't know if that's true. I like to think they go to little wasp heaven. Maybe they got some new little bodies where they don't sting us, doesn't hurt so bad. Here's what I'm asking you guys to do. Please, please. This is so serious. Chime in, okay? you guys chime in about everything else, usually about 3 different topics. And I know who you are. You're going to chime in and tell me your opinion about whatever in the world. And then you're going to give me some long, lengthy thing on why you're right and I'm wrong. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to click on the link. But on this one, I'm asking for your opinion. Do you think that wasps, mosquitoes, rattlesnakes, and the like are going to go to heaven or hell or something else? I don't know. But I do need to know. So it's a Halloween, it's Hallows Eve, and I need to know by All Saints Day, which is Monday, for those of you that don't know good things. All right, talk to you later, bye. Good morning, and welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. I guess it's still the same episode. Anyway, we're winding down, so we're getting all the finishing touches done, and I think I should take this opportunity to explain to you that painting trim by hand is time consuming. And oftentimes, I heard this a long time ago, and at first I didn't believe it, but experience has taught me better. Sometimes something costs 2 or 3 times as much to be 15 or 20% better. But the difference is like the difference between like, and like, that's pretty cool. So we're taking the time to hand paint all this stuff, and we think it's beautiful. Oh, look, Mike's doing the dance. He's actually a professional dancer, which a lot of you probably didn't know, but it's amazing. He was on, what, Soul Train, Mike? You were on Soul Train, right?
Name it. Soul Train.
Yeah, what else?
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars. What else? Who sounds like my rides here?
I don't know what that other one was.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand what custom means, okay? They're like, that's not custom, that's standard. Almost everything we do, now I'm gonna take that back. Literally everything that we do is custom. Well, let me explain why. If you go to a factory, right? They've got engineers, and these engineers have like taken the time and they spent gobs and gobs of money, and they're like, make it like this, put these pieces together and you will make the thing. Let's call it an iPhone, okay? And then you're like, this iPhone is $1,200. You're like, it doesn't seem like this is $1,200 worth of metal and plastic and glass. And they're like, it's all the engineering that went into it. That's not custom, that's standard. We made 50 million of those. Boom, 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 boom. The machines just print them off. But let's say you wanted that same iPhone, you're like, hey, iPhone factory, store, whatever place, we want this same thing with all the same features, exactly the same features, but I want the camera to be over here, and I want this button to be over here, and I want to have the port in the side instead of on the bottom. That will not just be like $1,300, that will be like $1 million, because you have to do a whole bunch more work. So literally everything we do is custom, because we're not just stamping something off the factory press, we're like thinking it through and going, how do we make this work? You just got an engineer who's not the best, who's making it work for you. So anyway, that's the difference between custom and not custom, and what a difference it makes to take a little bit more time. Mike, you want to talk about anything?
Rolling Stones.
Mike's going to go see Rolling Stones tomorrow. He's super pumped about it. It's really cheap tickets. Poor Mick, like, I don't know how he's even making it these days. And what's his name, Keith Richards?
Yeah.
We don't need to be thinking about the world that we're leaving for our children or our grandchildren.
Everybody talks about Keith Richards, man, but has anybody seen Ron Wood lately?
Right? We don't need to be worrying about what our kids and our grandkids have for a world. We need to be worrying about what we leave for Keith Richards, because that dude is ancient. All right, that's it. All right, so we're here at the last day. It's been about 28 minutes since we started this project. And, you know, that's a long time for us because we're really lazy. Not Mike, but me.
Me too.
We're both really lazy. All right, so settle an argument for me here. I want you guys to chime in. And Mike, you can too. Candy corn does not belong on pizza. Am I right about this?
Wrong.
Oh, you want candy corn on pizza?
Right next to the pineapple.
There you go. Please argue this, please. We just need some more people to argue with strangers on the internet. Also, am I wrong, or is candy corn made out of melted down traffic cones?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure that
Probably the traffic cones are healthier.
they probably are. They probably are. So we got all the trim painted and everything. Now look, I know that some of you guys want to criticize, and I just don't care because whatever, you weren't here and it's not your deal. But thank you for mowing the lawn right now. They're going to replace the windows still. So that's what that yellow mustard looking crusty stuff is. Don't worry, they're going to replace those windows. It's going to happen. It's not part of our job. Not everything in the world is our job. Which, I know, right? Which reminds me, you will not be judged on your intentions. You'll be judged on your actual deeds. Hear me out on this. If you're like, I intend to do X, I want to do X, but then you never do, you don't get judged on that. You don't get rewards on that, and you don't get punishments on that. You get rewards and punishments on what you actually do. Am I wrong?
been intending to kill this guy, but I'm
Still,
good, right?
you're still good.
Cool.
Right, let's just keep it at intention. You might want to take that down a few notches to like love your enemy. Right now in America, 1 in 13 men and 1 in 16 women are expected to develop lung cancer at some point in their life. Over 150,000 Americans will die this year from lung cancer. Over 250,000 new cases will be diagnosed. We think we can make that number even bigger.
People have treated cancer like a disease for too long.
I think it's time we give it a chance.
Let's look at the bright side.
There's a lot of money in cancer.
For the doctors, the hospitals, and the pharmaceutical companies.
There are a lot of people depending on you out there to get cancer.
So they can take expensive vacations.
And have summer homes in France.
Do you really want to take that from them?
I mean, really?
I mean, do you really?
Do you really?
I'm trying to get cancer because I think it makes you look hot.
I'm trying to get cancer because I think it makes you look hot.
Cancer really drags misery out for years.
Digs in deep and gets to know every part of you.
It's not exactly like being in love with a vampire.
But it's close.
We'll all die one day.
But you might as well look cool doing it.
And it won't make you fat.
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 I'm trying to get cancer because I'm lonely and I want some attention.
I really need something big to jar me loose of this funk I'm in.
I think cancer could be that big obstacle for me.
That magical catalyst that finally gets my life on track.
It's not as good as joining the military, but you get a shaved head.
And it forces you out of your rut.
I can't get cancer fast enough.
I heard if you get 100,000 likes on Facebook, the doctor will cure your cancer for free.
I heard if you get 100,000 likes on Facebook, the doctor will kill you for free.
I smoked once, but the cigarette got cancer instead of me. Being strong is such a burden. I suppose I could get lucky and get COPD or emphysema. Maybe I can get a first aids kit with a dirty needle and a gay monkey.
I can't get cancer fast enough.
Unfortunately, lung cancer is not hereditary.
I'm not crying. Someone's just cutting onions in the other room.
And it's not contagious.
With the help of cigarettes, hopefully we can all have lung cancer someday.
Don't let lung cancer die with this generation.
Pass it on.
Pass it on.
Smoke in front of your children.
And encourage them to do the same.
And teach them to do the same.
Brought to you by Big Tobacco, Big Pharma, the Prince of Darkness, Taro Barrel, Cool, and Camel Toe cigarettes, and a long list of other groups and individuals on our payroll.
Maybe this one will be the one.
Next week's episode, increasing prostate cancer in women. Impossible? Let's change that.
Do you want free money? Tax-free free money? Do you want tax-free free money for doing absolutely nothing at all? Of course you do. Who doesn't? What if I told you I found a way to live the American dream without doing anything at all? And what if I was willing to share that information with you today? First of all, let me start by saying this is not a pyramid scheme. It's a multi-level marketing opportunity. My probation officer made me say that. How far are you willing to go for success? You willing to go to Chicago? You willing to go to New York? Are you willing to go to Mars? Are you willing to go to Pluto? Are you willing to go to Unicorn Rainbow Planet World? Are any of those places too far to go for success? Answer is yes. Most of those places are completely unrealistic goals, and one of them only exists inside my imagination. What if I told you all you had to do for success is just go down the street corner? That's not too far to go. With my newly revealed ancient methods, you could start making cash money today. Just listen to some of these testimonies.
My whole life people called me a bum, but I wasn't making any money at it until I tried Homeless Gus's tax-free cash non-pyramid scheme. I bought the business building kit and I read the entire plan, and I'm not embarrassed to say, I cried when I realized all the potential that I'd wasted all those years. I was trying to work. That's not the answer.
I'm sure you've heard the old saying, working doesn't make you money, money makes you money. But what if you don't have any money? I say flip that script and you just tell them, working doesn't make you money, acting poor makes you money. But you don't have to be poor to take advantage of this opportunity. Just listen to Homeless Peter.
I was living paycheck to paycheck. I could barely make ends meet. I was too scared to quit my job, so I took a chance and started working the program in my spare time. I got so excited I told my friends about it, and now I have 26 representatives under me, and they got so excited that they each have 13 representatives under them. We each get to keep 25% of our earnings, and the rest goes up the non-pyramid. At this rate, I only have to enlist 4 people a day for the next 6 months. And each of them have to enlist another 4 people a day. Then I have to work my real job. In my spare time, I stand off the corner of the street off of 360 in Abram, panhandling. In just 6 short months, I should be a millionaire.
That's right. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Homeless Peter is not homeless, but he loved his family, and so he bought my deluxe business building kit for only $1,000. And now, Homeless Peter's making upwards of $100 an hour. With the structure he's got with representatives underneath him in my non-pyramid scheme, Homeless Peter is bringing me in about $150,000 a day. And Homeless Peter gets to keep 25% of that, which means Homeless Peter in his own business is netting $37,000 a day. If Homeless Peter can do that, just imagine what you could do. Imagine your earning potential if you just buy my business building kit today. Look, you could include such wonderful business building tools as this. Nothing says I love you like cash. Broken spaceship, need money for parts, please help. It always helps if you write God bless at the end. We'll eat for food. Here's a bit of advice. Don't actually take food. Don't actually take work. You're there to make money. You're not there to do work, and you're not there to eat. You can do that in your free time. All right.
I've found people are more generous when you imply you have a needy child. I sometimes take a blanket and wrap it up and act like I have a newborn. I also find it helps when I don't shower or brush my teeth. But what I really find effective is when I use the bathroom in my pants. The urine-soaked feces smell really helps sell the brand I'm trying to market. Gus says, be the brand. I love owning my own business.
This opportunity to be your own boss can't last long. Get in on the ground floor level of my non-pyramid scheme today and find yourself on the road to success. Send all that you can. Anything helps. God bless.